Hello everyone, welcome you all for the next lecture of the course Selenium with Java. Today's lecture number 19, module number 3, topic is Selenium Suite. Okay. In the previous lecture, we have just started module 3 and we have learned the introduction of Selenium. Means we have learned what is the requirement of Selenium, what is Selenium, what was the history of Selenium, features, drawbacks, everything. Okay. Today we will see Selenium Suite. Okay, let's start now. These are the outlines for today's topic. First, we will see what is Selenium Suite, then same origin policy, then different components, Selenium RC, remote control, Selenium ID, integrated development environment, Selenium Grid, and Selenium WebDriver. We will learn one by one. Okay. First, what do you mean by Selenium Suite? Okay. So what do you mean by Selenium? I have already explained in previous lecture. Okay, Selenium is an open source automation testing tool for testing website application. Selenium is an automation testing tool that is used for testing website application. Selenium is a open source free and open source software. It is an automation testing tool that is used for testing website application. Suite means is a like big box. That is a combination of different components. So Selenium is not a single tool. Selenium is not a single tool. It is a suite of various tools. Means combination of various tools. What are those combinations? What are those components? Yes. The Selenium Suite is a combination of these four components. Selenium Suite is a combination of these four components. Selenium RC, okay, Selenium IDE, Selenium Grid, Selenium WebDriver. We will see one by one explanation of each component of Selenium Suite. Okay, Selenium Suite is a combination of these four components. Now we'll see one by one. Before introduction of this component, first we need to understand what is the same origin policy. What is the same origin policy? Same origin means same origin for different things. See, initially, same origin policy was used for security purpose. Now you will have a doubt, what is the policy? So first understand the policy. As per the policy, any code loaded within the browser can only operate within that website domain only. Any code loaded within the browser can only operate within that website domain. For example, JavaScript program written for google.com can access pages within google.com only. It cannot access pages from Yahoo as it's a different one. Understood? Different origin. Same origin means if you have written any program for Google, if you have written any program for Google, then you can do testing for Google only. The limitation is up to Google only. So for Google, every pages you can access. But for Google, you can't access pages for Yahoo as it is a different domain. If you have written program for Yahoo domain, then you can have access of all the pages of Yahoo, but you will not have the access for any page of Google. Understood? Means you are working for Google, then you will work for Google only, then you cannot access the Yahoo. If you are working for Yahoo, then you can access the Yahoo page, but you cannot access the Google page. That is called same origin policy. And this policy was used for the security purpose. This policy was used for the security purpose. Means this is your home 1 or home 2 or room 1 or room 2. Okay. Lock is different. The key for this locker will not work for key for this locker. Because this is different room and this is different room. So why you are doing this? Why the lockers are different? Locks are different. Keys are different. Why? for the security purpose. If this key one is the for locker one for particular room, so that key should not work for locker two. That is for security purpose. This is your particular room and this is your locker and this is a key. This is for one room. This is a particular room two. There is locker two. There is key two. Okay. So what you want? That this key should not work for this key. Why? Because you want security. You want security. So what you want that the key used for this locker should not use for this locker, but it is security. Okay, this is like a Google and this is like a Yahoo. This is like a Google, this is like Yahoo. If you're working on Google, then you can have the access of all the pages of Google. Means this is a house, then if you open this house, then you can have the access of all the rooms, all here. But you cannot have the access of the Yahoo. So this was for the security purpose, but later on it becomes a drawback. While technology changes, according to to today's generation, it becomes the drawback. Initially, it was the advantage because this was used for the security purpose, but after that, it becomes a drawback. What is a drawback? Tester needed to install local copies of both Selenium Core means JavaScript program and the web server containing the web application being tested. Okay, means we are writing Java program over here and we are testing website over here. So we should have local copies of both things so that both should be in same domain. This is your Selenium core where you are writing the Java program. Here you are writing the Java program. And these are the website applications where you are doing the testing. So you need to install the local copies of both this and this. Local copies of this and local copies of this. Okay. Then you will understand that both are on same domain. Means you are writing Java program for Google and you are testing the application on Google only. Otherwise, you can say you are writing Java program for Yahoo and you are testing the application on Yahoo. So how you will understand if you will have the local copies of both. So in this case, testers needed to install local copies of both Selenium core where you are writing the JavaScript program and the server where you are doing the testing. So that you can ensure that both is the same code. Okay. So JavaScript program can only access pages on the same domain. So install whole AUT. AUT full form is application under test. Whole AUT means application under test. Means whichever app, suppose you are testing the website, DMart app, Myntra app, Amazon, whatever the app, that is application. Application under test means for which application you are doing testing. So install that application and the web server on local system in which you are doing testing. This is a drawback. Every time you have to install the local copies of the script program and this your web server. Okay, that is the drawback of same origin policy. Initially, the same origin policy was used for the security purpose, but later on it becomes a drawback because every time tester has to install local copies. So what was the solution? Okay, this was same origin policy was used in Selenium code. So first component, initially, Selenium was introduced as Selenium code. Initially, Selenium was introduced as Selenium code. But in Selenium code, there was a drawback of same origin policy. That drawback was removed in the next version that is called Selenium RC. Okay, or we can say Selenium version 1. Selenium RC full form is remote control. Just think, what even the remote? Like in TV, you can control the TV with the help of remote. We can on the TV, you can off the TV. Not only TV, now the smart rooms are there. You can control the doors, or your curtains, your TV, fridge, everything. Remotes are there. Okay, now here, what is the remote? In the form of remote, here there is a proxy server. HTTP proxy server. What is the use of that proxy server? That proxy server is work as a remote. Okay, means we don't need to install the local copies like in the previous case. Here, proxy server is for tricking the browsers into believing that both things are on same domain. The browser on which you are working and the web application being tested on the same domain. So here's RC, the server which launches the browsers. So for launching any browsers, here we have to use a server that is called tricky server. And server gives this confidence that both are on same domain. Server, this is the server between your this is your JavaScript program, or this is your applications, that's website application on which you are doing testing. There is a server in between them. There is a server between them. This server makes the confidence. So like a mediator who give the confidence that both are on the same domain. So there is no requirement of installing the local copies. So it is called tricky server. It's not a real server. That's why its name is proxy server or tricky server. This server launched all the applications. This server launched the browsers. You see here? Here, this is script where you will write your programs, JavaScript program. This is your script. This is AUT application under test. Means what is the application? Suppose you're testing the yahoo.com, you're testing the Amazon application, you're testing the Myntra, so whatever the application. So AUT is application under test. AUT is application under test. This is script means JavaScript program. Between both blocks. Okay. And the Selenium code, you have to install the local copies of code, but here is no requirement of installing the local copies. Here we have used one extra proxy server. So this will behave like the remote, but it makes a confidence that both are in the same domain. It's a remote control Selenium. Here the example is given. If we have Gmail account, we have entered email ID and password, then details will be sent to proxy server. Proxy server will send to database and then server will take response from database and give it back to the application. Understood? See, we suppose you are logging your Gmail account. Okay. So what you will in the JavaScript program, you will write a program for login ID and password. So you have entered login ID, you have entered the password. Okay. So directly it will not send to the gmail.com. It will send to the proxy server. Proxy server will send this to database, whatever the database. It will check the response from the database. Then it will collect the response from database. Then it will send to the application. If data is correct, then application will start. Means your login will be successful. Again, listen. If you are doing testing for the Gmail account, suppose if you are doing testing for Gmail account here, login ID, password, you will write a program here that is called JavaScript program. That details will be sent to the proxy server. Proxy server will send this data to database. Okay. And it will take response from the database, then it will send to the application. Now, if the credentials are correct, then your login will be successful. So in Selenium RC or remote control RC, the role of proxy server is important. Okay. With the help of this proxy server, you are launching the browsers. You are testing this application. So after this Selenium RC, what was the drawback of Selenium RC means every time you have to use the proxy server. If you not use proxy server, then there will be the concept of same origin policy. Then tester again have to install the local copies of both the script and the website. If you don't want to use that, then every time you have to use the proxy server. That is a drawback of Selenium RC. Third one is, not third one, it's second one, Selenium IDE. IDE, I for integration, D for development, E for environment. Integration, development, environment. It is developed by Selenium Custom. So what is IDE? Okay, IDE means record and playback tool. ID is record and playback tool. So how it works? When we have written any script or we have written test cases, so we'll record all the test cases, that is recording, and we will execute them as a playback. Means you are doing any performance, you are singing, and you have just record your song. Okay. Now for checking whether you have sing proper or not, there is no lyrics mistake, there is no tune mistake. Then what you will do, you will check the recordings like this. I want to do some performance. Before that, I'm just recording my performance and I'm just checking where I can be I wrong. That is the same here. Record and playback too. To record all the test cases. Now, if you have done recording, now for checking whether our test cases are appropriate, up to mark or not, then we will see the recordings. It is called play. Okay. So ID is record and playback tool. ID is the record and playback tool. We will record all the test cases here and we execute them as a playback. In starting, it was available as a Firefox plugin. So we can run recorded script against other browser by using Selenium RC. Okay, means it is not limited to the particular browser. If recording is there, then you can run it at any browsers, at Mozilla, okay, at Internet Explorer, any browser, Microsoft. So by recording and playback, you can run it against other browsers also. By default, it's record in HTML. By default, recording will be in HTML language, but you don't want in HTML language. You want in another language. So after recording, you can convert the recording into other languages as well. That is features available here. Starting, initially, recording will be in HTML. Initially, recording will be in HTML format. But if you want in another language, what you have to do, you have to record. To convert the recordings into other languages. You have to convert the recording into other languages. Understood? So Selenium ID. In Selenium RC, what was the main feature? Proxy server. That was a drawback also. Means every time you need proxy server. But in Selenium ID, there is no proxy server concept. There is a concept of record and play. Okay? Record and playback facility. You can record as cases, you can execute them as playback, and you can convert it in other languages, convert recording, or you can run the recordings at other browsers. That is advantage. You can run the recordings at other browsers as well as you can convert the recording into other languages. Now, what is the limitation? The limitation of RC was, limitation of Selenium core was same original policy. Limitation of RC was every time you need proxy server. Now, limitation of Selenium ID. Selenium ID does not support OOPS concept. What is OOPS? Object-oriented programming. Means there is an object and the class. So Selenium ID, this is a record play facility. It will not support the OOPS concept. Okay. It does not support any database like SQL database. Any database doesn't support. Any spreadsheet and Excel sheet, it will not support. Okay. And the last one is does not generate detailed report. It does not generate detailed report. These are the limitations of Selenium ID. Next is Selenium Grid. That's the third one, Selenium Grid. It is developed by Patrick Lightfoot. Okay, that is the name of the person who developed this. Patrick Lightfoot. Okay. Grid means a frame of parallel things. Grid means a frame of parallel things. Okay. Means if you want to run your multiple test cases at multiple browsers at different OS parallel, then we will use grid. Okay. Selenium grid use hub and node files. There is one hub, main center, and there are various nodes connected to it. Selenium grid use hub and node constant. Means the center is hub where we run our test case. So hub execution is done on different machine called node. Center one is hub. All the nodes are connected to hub. So we'll run the whole test on a single machine and execution done on different. To run test at hub and execution different nodes. That is Selenium. Means simply we are doing things parallelly. We are running our test cases parallelly on different OS and different browsers. We are running our test cases parallelly on different browsers, on different OS. See here. This is a one center hub. We will run whole test case here. And these are different machines, different nodes. All nodes are connected to the center hub. Okay, this is the concept of Selenium Kit. Means we are running parallelly our test cases on different machines, different browsers or different things. The last one is Selenium WebDriver. This is the most popular Selenium component. Selenium Suite component, most popular. We'll use Selenium WebDriver and we'll learn in detail the Selenium WebDriver. It is developed by Simon Stewart. It is developed by Simon Stewart. WebDriver, the important, most important advantage of WebDriver is we can directly communicate with web browsers without need of any proxy server. Okay, we will directly communicate. We'll directly test our web application with your JavaScript program. So it was first platform testing framework that controlled browsers from OS level. It is first platform testing framework that controlled browsers from OS level. Means here is a script, here is your website application, directly you are communicating. There is no same origin policy problem, there is no proxy server required, nothing. Okay, how it will work? That we'll learn in detail with practicals also. So we'll learn in detail the Selenium WebDriver. Okay, so Selenium WebDriver is the component here we don't require any proxy server. So these are the four components. First, the Selenium initially started called as Selenium Core. The minute. First, Selenium was developed as Selenium Core, but there is a problem was same origin policy. There was a problem of same origin policy. That is Selenium Core. After Selenium Core, next Selenium RC, remote control. Okay. Selenium RC, in Selenium RC, proxy server was used. Okay. Then ID, record and playback facility. Then grid, it fast the speed, it increases the speed because we are doing parallel execution. And last is Selenium WebDriver, that is most popular, where we directly communicate with the web server. So first was Selenium RC, remote control, we need proxy server. Second, ID, record and playback facility. Third is grid, where we are doing parallel execution. And fourth is WebDriver, where we are directly communicating with the website. So in this way, we have learned the Selenium Suite. We have learned the Selenium Suite. Okay. So in Selenium Suite, there were four components: RC, IDE, grid, and WebDriver. So most important part is Selenium WebDriver that we will learn in detail from the next lecture. And from the next lecture, we'll do the practice. We'll do the programming. We'll write the Selenium script for testing the website. Okay. So thank you so much. Keep learning, keep sharing. We'll meet in next lecture.